My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote.com. That's SelectQuote.com.
SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Hey, it's Kim Commando Today, your daily podcast to keep you up to date with all things digital and beyond. And I'd love to have you be a part of our podcast. You can make an appointment to speak with me. Just head over to commando.com, and on the top right, there's a button that says Email Kim. Fill that out, and that's it. I always like to kick off each show with something really fun. And moveover.com and .org, because Google just announced 8 new top-level domains that can be used for websites and email addresses. Okay, are you ready for them? .dad, .esq, .prof, .phd, .nexus, .foo, .zip, and .mov. Now, I can see uses for this, like a lawyer, doctor, professional, but .foo? F-O-O? I mean, think about this. Are you ready for the site? I pity the .foo. I pity the .foo. Okay. Oh, God. Sometimes I just crack myself up. Hey, listen, it's called The Kim Commando Show because I'm America's beloved digital goddess. You've tapped into the nation's largest, most trusted source for all things digital. You can find me on over 400 top radio stations across the United States, as well as you can find me as a podcast, as a webcast, 24/7, 3 months worth of archives, commercial-free, over inside the Commando community. That's right. And you just want to go to commando.com and sign up for the community, just a few bucks a month. We have discounts for everybody, I swear. Seniors, military personnel, veterans, police, firemen, you name it, you're going to get a discount. Again, it's just a few bucks a month. And we're also streaming in your favorite radio app. Just search for my last name, Commando. And of course, I'd like to say hello to all of our listeners in the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marine Corps, the Coast Guard, and the Space Force who are listening to us on the American Forces Network Radio. And our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. All right, I check out 30 different websites every single day to bring you the top 5 things you need to know about tech. And coming in at number 1 is there are about 4,500 AM radio stations in the United States. Over 50 million people listen to AM radio. You know, it really is the home of talk radio, isn't it? And it's cost effective. According to so many sources, when you compare FM radio and other kinds of broadcasting, the equipment needed to build an AM radio station is a lot less expensive. And in smaller communities, that expense is the difference between local news or maybe none at all. But here's the problem. AM radio is facing being extinguished in cars. You heard me right. BMW, Ford, Mazda, Polestar, Rivian, Tesla, Volkswagen, and Volvo have already taken AM radios out of their EV vehicles. As a matter of fact, Ford says, we don't care if they're EV or not. Gas-powered cars, you're not going to get an AM radio either. So Congress is pushing back. They want to make it illegal for automakers to banish AM radio from your cars. And there's another reason that AM radio is really good. Yes, it's good during emergencies when most states are distributing evacuation plans and instructions because other forms of communication might be disrupted. And AM radio is just reliable. So if you want to fight back, and I encourage that you do this right now, call your local congressman and tell them that AM radio is important to you. Just do that. Make that note. Do it either on their website, send them a note, call them, whatever it may be. Just tell them that you want to keep your AM radio. All right, moving along to number 2, let's talk about ChatGPT and also professors. At Texas A&M, a professor, Dr. Jared Mumm, he failed more than half his students for writing and using ChatGPT for their papers. The problem, most of them didn't. First mistake is he submitted 3 essays from each student into ChatGPT to test whether or not they used it to write the assignments. And then he says he put the students' work through 2 separate times, and they were both claimed by ChatGPT, and they received a 0. So Dr. Mumm says, you shall not pass, go. And he put their diplomas on hold. Second mistake, You mess with somebody's diploma, it's going to end up all over social media. And he actually ignored emails. He said, I don't grade AI. By the way, Texas A&M says it's investigating, and none of the students are barred from graduating. Moving in at number 3, let's talk about TSA. Airports in Atlanta, Boston, Dallas, Detroit, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Miami, Orlando, and a few more cities are now going to start using facial recognition to speed up security lines. Is it worth it? It depends who you ask. It's the name of the game when it comes to travel. The TSA says facial recognition tech is going to make the whole process more efficient. You insert your driver's license or passport into the card reader. Camera's going to compare your face to the one on your ID. Then the agent approves once the screen is done and you're on your way. Let me tell you, I travel all over Europe, and this is how it's done there. But here in the United States, we're saying, oh, what about the database? What if it gets breached? You know, it's going to be a prime target, of course, and hopefully they just, make sure that it's all locked down, super safe. But, also the TSA, on another note, just announced that they're banning erasers on flights. I don't know if you heard about this. They're banning erasers on flights, yes, because they're capable of math destruction. Oh, gosh, that's great. Number 4 on our list of 5 things. Zippity-doo data. That's right. This guy out there by the name of Andrew Brandt. And he is a malware researcher. So he had an account with Microsoft, and so what he does is he puts a whole bunch of malware malicious files into a zip folder, and then he locks it up with a password to keep it safe, and then he uploads it into the cloud to keep it even more safe. As it turns out, he says that Microsoft flagged all his zip files because they contain malware, which means what? Yes, that Microsoft is scanning your password-protected zip files that you are saving on SharePoint. So if you think that you are just going to be super sneaky about stuff, just know that the cloud services, they are probably checking out anything that you may have password protected in a zip file. Doesn't that make you feel warm and fuzzy, doesn't it? And finally, this coming in at number 5. This went down last weekend in Texas at the Low Tide City 2023. It's an esports whole competition. And one of the top games at this event is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Now, it's very competitive and it has a lot of trash talk. Well, during a top match, things got kind of crazy. They got heated. And there was this Super Smash Bro professional by the name of Maester. He was getting into it with his 15-year-old opponent by the name of Syrup. Maester, by the way, is a full-grown man. And he gave Syrup a fist bump and said, "You can't say it on the radio, stink." And I can't say that on the radio either. So people watching this, they got all upset. And then he decided to go to Twitter and actually trash talk the 15-year-old kid. And then guess what happened there? Syrup's mother, that's right, don't mess with the mama bear. And she fired back at Maester. Her exact words were, "You're an adult." Basically, players like yourself have zero class and absolutely no sportsmanship. Even if you win, you're still a loser in every sense. Mom came to the rescue. Speaking of video games, I actually broke up with my video game console. Now it's my Xbox. And nothing personal. It was just time for a switch. All right, your car is just a roving computer. I'm going to tell you how you can see all the data that your car is tracking about you. That's coming up in our tip this hour. And also we have more great phone calls that you never ever want to miss. And you have me, Kim Commando.
Tax day is coming.
Oh, no.
But if you sign up for Robinhood Gold's IRA with a 3% match, you can get up to $195 for the 2023 tax year.
Oh, yeah.
Sign up at Robinhood.com/boost by tax day to get the biggest contribution match on the market. Subscription fees apply.
Investing involves risk. 3% match requires gold for 1 year from first match. Must keep IRA for 5 years. Robinhood Financial, LLC, member SIPC.
Hey, if you have not checked out our new newsletters yet, you're so missing out, I'm telling you. And if you used to get the newsletters in the past, I had too many newsletters, or it had too many bad ads, or it was just clickbait, I'll tell you, times have changed. It is 100% different, okay? There's no clickbait, there's just one ad, and everything that you need to read is right in the newsletter itself. So head over to getkim.com right now. That's getkim.com. And sign up for our free newsletters. You're going to love them. You can unsubscribe at any time. Just try it for a week, and I bet you're really going to dig them. Once again, that's over at getkim.com. All right, coming up, are you revealing too much with your username? And then we're going to talk about cars and computers and later on what you need to do with your laptop right now. But before we get to all of that, how about we start with Doreen in Washington, D.C.?
Hi, hello. I'm pleased to be talking to you. I am trying to find the best technology to get the word out to people who are facing dreaded cancer diagnosis. I had cancer, and I still have cancer, but there is a way of dealing with that, and I'm looking at posts that are very sad, and I think that it would be good for people to know that there is a way forward, and I would like to try and do that, and I wonder what the best technology is. I'm not a social media person, so I'm not familiar with that, although I've been with using computers for a long time. I'm just not into social media, so I wondered if you could help me tell me what the best ideas would be for getting the word out, some way that I could involve people.
So Doreen, Doreen, you want to have I don't want to use the word positive, but you want to have an inspirational experience with what kind of cancer have you been diagnosed with?
I have stage 4 lung cancer, and it was diagnosed in 21, and 18 months later, I am doing amazingly well.
God bless.
So this is, something that we can look at and say that this is the future. This is what is happening. But it's hard for some people even to live with that. There are all sorts of stages, and
sure.
So there is something positive out there, and I wonder how we can how can I get out the word? How can I, in some way, deal with this?
Okay, a couple of ways. Let's talk about one way that doesn't involve social media, okay?
Okay.
Is that you could write a book about your experiences.
Right.
And when I say book, I don't mean a 200-page tome. I mean 20, 25 pages.
Right.
And that's reasonable to write. And you could structure it so, this is who I am. This is what I was diagnosed with. I understand that sinking feeling in your chest when they said the C word. And it doesn't mean imminent death anymore. And here are ways that you can get yourself out of bed in the morning, deal with chemotherapy better, start eating carrots, depend upon your faith, so, and it's a very difficult journey, Doreen. Not the same thing, but I will tell you that I was my mother's caregiver. My mother lived with me for, almost 30 years after I left home, okay, to go to college. And she's a vibrant woman. And I took her to the Mayo Clinic for some tests, and they said, oh, by the way, she has pancreatic cancer, stage 4.
Mm-hmm.
And the guys at the Mayo Clinic said, you should take her home to do her bucket list. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you on her bucket list. I'm her best friend. And because she's been to 120 different countries, she's one of the inventors of the Unix operating system, the video phone. She has 4 kids, 10 great-grandchildren, and 2 great-great-grand, lives a wonderful life. And so I took it upon myself, Doreen, to say, I'm going to save my mother's life. You can't save somebody's life from pancreatic cancer, but she did live almost 5 years after that.
And she lived with a quality of life, from what you're saying.
Yes, she did. She did. She did. She had, I threw her a big 80th birthday bash, and she was from Brooklyn, and we had everybody there, and she was FaceTiming every day, and she was traveling with me, and took her to Vegas and took her to Hawaii, just all these different places. So I understand what you're saying, And I like to tell people that story because many people have the same response that you just said, Doreen. When I said pancreatic cancer, everybody goes, "Oh,
Yeah.
right," because it is, 2-3 months. That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay. But she had a different type of pancreatic cancer, which I don't want to get into. But it was on her tumor. The tumor was on her pancreas. It was wrapped around her hepatic artery, and I mean, it was bad. But here nor there. So you can write a book, and if you don't want to make money at it, just put it out there for free. Put it up on Amazon for free, okay? And because you don't know who you're going to help. If you want to say, "Hey, listen, at least I want to get paid for my time," put it up there for $4.99.
Right.
And what you can do is you can write this book, and then what you can do is get on a platform called like Fiverr, and then you can have somebody copy edit it. You can have somebody do the pictures in it, do the layout, and then you just upload it to Amazon, and then you make a piece of the action, whatever it is. The social media platforms, that takes some time because you got to get Facebook, Instagram, Twitter going. Then you got to use the right hashtags, like lung cancer awareness, lung cancer support. Then you got to maybe collaborate with some nonprofits, some healthcare professionals, or other organizations, maybe the Cancer Society.
Right.
If this is your personal mission, Doreen, what I want to do is I want to send you some links on how you can write your own story. You can write your own ebook, and then it can be up there. And again, you don't know who it's going to help. But when people are diagnosed with a life-threatening illness, they start doing research. And that includes picking up their Kindle and looking at some ebooks. So again, I'm going to send you some information. Now, if you have any questions along the way, any question whatsoever, I want you to email me. I'm going to give you my personal email address, and then we can take this to the next level. And Doreen, thank you for your call, and I'm humbled that you chose me to help you out with this project. All right, we all know we need a good online password. Yeah, we hate them. Setting up two-factor authentication. Yeah, that's important too. When's the last time you actually looked at your username? I see so many people that use maybe their last name with a zip code, and that tells people like where you live. Come on, don't be doing that. And maybe your username is connecting to your password. So maybe your username is Twinkle Twinkle, and then your password like, oh, I'm going to be super clever. I'm going to make my password Little Star. Okay. Or you use the same name on all the different platforms. That's also a big no-no. I know it's a total pain in the neck. I get that. But you want to pay attention to those usernames as well as those annoying passwords. Someday they will be gone soon. They will, I promise. Hey, stay right where you are. Allie's going to be joining us about some classes you can take at Harvard for free that you don't want to miss. All right, coming up in just a few minutes, your car is just a big roving computer on wheels. Well, there is a way that you can find out what the manufacturer of your car is tracking about you. Yes, and you can do it for free. I'm going to tell you about that. And also, if you have a laptop, whether it's Windows or Mac or a Chromebook, you need to do one thing right now. I'm going to tell you more about that. And joining us right now is our amazing content queen, Allie Seligman. Hello there, Allie.
Hi, Kim.
Glad to have you with us. Now, I don't know if I've ever told you the story that I actually took a class at Harvard and a class at MIT. Did I ever tell you that?
You didn't. What were they?
No. Well, I was working for AT&T, and they were trying to fast track me into being the youngest female branch manager. Okay. And so they sent me over a summer to take these classes. And I thought it was really cool. I mean, because, in the morning, I would go for runs along the Charles River, and it was really kind of great to be like in an Ivy League. It's just like this whole different vibe, because the ASU, it's just like this whole different thing.
Yeah.
And then in the morning, sometimes the MIT or the Harvard rowing team would be out there rowing, and then, they put me in the boat a couple of times. And so I was just having like this great time. And then going to class and getting paid, and it was just a really fun summer. But there was one thing that I'll never forget, is that there was a flasher.
Oh, no.
Right along the Charles River. Okay. And when I'd go for a run, he'd stand there, honestly, with like shoes and a raincoat on. And I was running, he'd open up his raincoat. And I'd be like, oh, not you again.
Did it make you run faster?
Well, one time, after like 6 or 7 times that he flashed me, I just looked at him and I said, you are an embarrassment to yourself, okay? go someplace else.
Did he
Or
stop?
go home. I never saw him again.
You shamed him
Never
out of
saw him
it.
again.
Good for you, Kim.
I guess, and I started thinking about it. Like, do flashers, do they have like nightmares? I mean, and dreams when they leave the house, they suddenly realize that they have their pants on. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my gosh.
Have you had that
Crazy
dream
stuff.
that I never have had the, oh no, I'm in class and I don't have clothes on, but I definitely have the, I'm in high school or college and I'm about to take a test for a class I never went to.
Or I have one that I'm getting ready to do the show, and I didn't realize it was show day.
That's the same
it's
dream,
like-
totally.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, so Harvard, MIT, I went for free because AT&T foot the bill. But what I think is really good, we were talking about this, is that you can take classes at Harvard for free, which is amazing.
So cool, right? Everybody can take them for free. They are online classes. And this isn't just like, a 2-hour little course and it's over. We're talking like full-fledged 6 to 14-week classes. So if you really want to learn about something, there are some cool places that you can do it online. One caveat here, like I said, most are free. You can make an account at edX or Coursera for free. If you want to do one of the professional certifications, if you want to do something where you need to prove that you took it, you are going to have to pay for that. And depending on what you do, it might be a few $100, but for the most part, you can take all these for free. And isn't that cool?
Wow, that is something.
I know. If you are somebody who wants to know more about tech, maybe you are the nerdiest Kim Commando listener and you're like, you know what? It's time for me to level up. There's intro to computer science, intro to cybersecurity, pretty cool. Intro to artificial intelligence. There are data science classes where you can learn how to use AI better or even create AI stuff, which is pretty awesome. That might lead to, maybe AI is going to take my job. Maybe.
Yes, right.
So maybe you need to learn something new. Coursera especially has a lot of these essentially professional certifications where it's like going back to school for a few semesters, which is really awesome. Some of these take a good long while. There's an IBM data engineering professional certificate. It takes 7 months. This is like a full-fledged program, but it prepares you to be a data engineer. It's 13 different classes.
Wow.
Isn't that awesome?
How much is it?
They charge.
Is this
They just charge $59 a month.
really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really great.
really is amazing.
That's good stuff.
There are ones for Google IT support if you're in the tech world. You can even get a bookkeeping certificate so that you are prepared for an entry-level bookkeeping job. So there are so many things you can try on here. And if you just want to do it for fun, there are a lot of fun classes too. Some of our favorites are on edX. There is backyard meteorology for all you aspiring weather people. If you're always the person looking at, AccuWeather on your phone. What about if you wanted to be a lawyer or you find yourself always having to look at contracts for maybe your small business? There's a contract law class, which is really cool. Help you set up everything from your will to a trust, anything for work. This class is cool. The Science of Happiness. We could all be a little happier, right?
Right?
Yeah.
Yes. I need to be. I don't know if I get any more happier. I mean, it's. I mean,
Happy overload?
Ian looks at me and is like, "Why are you always happy? Why?" I'm like, "I'm just always happy. I just can't help it."
You are a happy person.
Big old smile on my face all the time.
If you're the person always addicted to the news, maybe it's bumming you out, turn that off. You can take U.S. public policy, which is social, economic, and foreign policies. That's a fun one to learn. And one that I am certainly going to take, and I'm not joking, Intro to Sauerkraut. No, it's called Food Fermentation. I really want to learn to make sauerkraut, but I don't want to give all my loved ones botulism or something. So I think I'm going to do it this summer.
That would be bad. Did you ever think that those words would ever come out of your mouth?
No.
I want to learn how to make sauerkraut. Okay, I mean, it's like, hey, how you doing on that air fryer?
I use it constantly.
Do you?
Air fryer's the best. If you don't have an air fryer,
Well, see,
get to it.
Well, see, here's the deal, folks, is that, I was the air fryer queen. And then I'm like, every time we're Zooming or Google Meet, I'm like, you know what? Oh, I just made this on the... So then I'm like, Allie needs an air fryer. So I sent you an air fryer just so you can join the revolution.
It was such a nice surprise.
They are really something.
are.
All right, so here's the deal. We're going to have all of this posted over on the website,
Yep,
right?
we'll have links to all these classes and even more. So head over. You can take the classes if you want to. If you find anything that you're like, Allie, you missed this class and this is the coolest thing on Coursera, let us know because I would love to see it.
Absolutely. Allie, great job as always. And yes, I think I'm going to take that introduction to sauerkraut class. That would be something else. All right, let's think about that new car that you have. You know, the average car nowadays has about 1,400 computer chips on the inside. Isn't that something? You know, when I say that, I think of my 1946 Chevy truck, which has nothing but 4 on the floor. That's it in a dirty old AM radio that I probably should replace someday. But anyway, because your car is connected, it can also collect a lot of data, a lot of personal information about you. Because I want you to think of your car as not just a car anymore. It's more like your phone, your computer, or your tablet. So what kind of data is your vehicle collecting? Well, I found a tremendous website that you're going to love. It's called the Vehicle Privacy Report. And it's all from a company that has one purpose. And they make their money by deleting synced personal data from used cars before they're resold. And this is how car makers comply with privacy laws. So that's how this all comes about. Well, there is a way that you can tap into their work. You want to go to this website, privacyforcars.com. That's privacyforcars.com. And when you're there, you just type in your car's VIN, and then the tool just spits out the privacy policies about your car and also your personal data. So what can you find out here? Well, a lot of details, like your name, your home address, your email address, your driver's license number, location data that shows where you are, where you went, maybe some biometrics, especially if you're using your fingerprint in order to sign into your car, voice recordings. Again, that site is privacyforcars.com. Once again, privacyforcars.com. And if you want to know more information about this, we have a whole article posted over at commando.com that walks you through using it step by step. So head over to commando.com and just search for, I don't know, Vehicle Privacy Report or Privacy for Cars, and that's going to pop up for you. All right, still to come, we have more of your phone calls and also a step that you need to take with your laptop now before something bad happens. Here on Kim Commando Today. All right, I have a podcast called The Daily Tech Update. I just want to talk to you for just a few seconds about this. Every single day, I record 2 things just for you. One is a top news story of the day, and then the other one is what we like to call in-house a DLH, a digital life hack. This is a tip. Maybe it's like that privacy for cars tip or something like that. And each totaled 1 minute. So if you have 2 of them, you have 2 minutes a day. So start thinking about what you could be doing for 2 minutes a day that will make a difference in your health and also in your tech life. Yes, brushing your teeth. Every single morning when you brush your teeth, you should be listening to my Daily Tech Update because, again, then you'll get the top news story of the day, you'll be prepared, and a life hack that you can use time and time again on your devices. So wherever you get your podcast, just search for Commando with a K, that's Komando, of course, and then you want to make sure that you subscribe or follow to our Daily Tech Update. And then, again, 7 days a week, you're going to get a top news story and a digital life hack. So you're brushing your teeth, you're getting fresh breath, and you're getting fresh digital know-how. All right, back to the phones we go with Scott in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yes, I actually inquired about this. They didn't approach me, but I was actually looking into to school. And the way they advertise it is online courses and software testing and quality assurance. Basically, you go through new software and you're looking to find any bugs, anything that don't work just right, and all you do is make a report on it. And this is a school to train you in this. Charge about $4,500 for a course that lasts about, I think, 12 weeks. And then there's advanced courses that teaches you how to fix those bugs and so forth. And they promise to, within a year, they'll help you get a job and et cetera. I'm wondering if it's legit.
Well, it's really hard to say because there are so many outfits like this that are on the internet, and they claim that they can guarantee you a job. I'd be very careful of that. Making 6 figures doing quality assurance for the first year on the job. I don't know if I really believe that. That's not something that I saw I've ever seen in my career in the tech industry. Normally it starts out in, say 60, 70, because you don't really know much about software assurance unless you're really on the job. I mean, you're really doing this.
Right.
What I would recommend before you go spend $5,000 on this course is I'd look at taking some classes, number one, to see if this is something that you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And you can find classes at Coursera, YouTube on quality assurance, software testing, things like that. The whole idea is that, see, you're going in this blind. You've never done this before. You don't know if what they're telling you is legit. It's not legit. Or maybe it is, and I'm sure they've got tons of testimonials on the page. And then if you look at reviews online, maybe you see a lot of 4-star, 3-star, maybe a smidging of 5-star reviews, because these sites are so sweet that they can manipulate a lot of these reviews. Not saying that this is the case with yours. That's why I didn't ask you what the name of it, what it is. But I just know that $5,000 for this 12 weeks, whatever it was, I think that's a lot of money for a class. So if this is something that you want to do, look at classes. And then also, there are open source projects that you can actually be a Q&A person for. Not Q&A, quality assurance person for, rather. And this way you can build a resume. There are freelancing sites that you can do to test things. It's really hard to take an online class for something like this. I'd like to see, you're in a big town, Atlanta. I'd like to see if there was a small to medium large size company where you could go in there on an entry-level position and get real-world training that you could put on your resume, and not something that happened on the internet, because things change so quickly. And especially, I'll tell you, QA engineers, that whole job's changing right now too. It's going to be all upended because of ChatGPT and AI. So a lot of this stuff can be done by AI. It doesn't need to be done by an actual human being. So as far as banking on a career that's going to be around in 5 to 10 years, I'm not sure if I would invest heavily in being a QA engineer unless it had something to do with artificial intelligence and maybe being prompt engineers or something like that. So try to keep that in mind. Take a look at some classes, and if you need any help afterwards, I'm always here for you. But I'll tell you, if you're looking for some type of trade like this online, taking classes, you definitely ought to check out what Allie and I were just talking about with these classes over at edX and Harvard and Coursera, because you know that these courses are from established institutions. And that's always my fear, especially because, we had that whole scam happening with the U.S. Postal Service. I don't know if you remember, I told you about that a couple of weeks ago, where people are saying, I want a good Postal Service job. And they went over to a scammy website that sold them a bill of goods and promised that they would get a guaranteed job, which they didn't get. And by the way, it's illegal for you to advertise that you're going to help somebody get a good government job, by the way. So, education is important, but so is experience. And so whatever you're looking forward to doing in your next career or trying to get ready to do, just keep in mind that you never want to do it for the money. You want to do it because you're passionate about it, because then you're going to be really, truly great at it. Okay, your laptop is more than just a device. It's the keys to your entire life, right? You have your work, your finances, even your inner thoughts are just a tap or click away. So what happens if that laptop gets stolen? Well, your confidential information is no longer yours. Some slimy thief or scammer could have access to it. But there are things that you can do to protect yourself. Now, Apple laptops are great. They have Find My built in. And this way you can sign into your iCloud account and then remotely wipe the drive. You can locate the drive. But the bottom line here is that you need to set it up right now before you need it. Now, if you're using Windows or an Android-based laptop, you want to be sure to install tracking and remote wipe software. So this way, you can easily locate that lost device and then wipe it clean of all personal information, even if it's stolen. So a great option for you is called Prey. That's Prey. It's totally free up to 3 devices, and it has a lot of great features. Like it has tracking features, remote wipe features. Again, it's spelled Prey, Prey. And if you're on an Apple device, you want to set up Find My. Now, if you're not sure how to do any of that, just know we have all the steps that you need over at Commando.com. Just say set up laptop in case it gets stolen. It will pop up. And don't forget 24/7, you can always find me on the website. That's Commando.com, Komando.com.
This program is a copyrighted production of Westar Multimedia Entertainment and protected by the copyright laws. Any rebroadcast or use of this program for commercial, business, economic, or financial purposes without the written permission of Westar Multimedia Entertainment is strictly prohibited.